So I can't believe I'm talking so slow in this video to Noelplum about this stuff. And I guess I'll send this to him because I mentioned it. I got a question. Why are you helping Noelplum go after evangelicals or Protestants? They're still Christians. They still believe in God. It's about refining the question, right? Just like there's been atheists that have defended, not exactly defended theistic things or Christian things, but that they say that's a shitty argument, that's a bad argument, right? Now, there are those people who don't want people to be skeptic or look into things, or people say, well, even though there's historical evidence for Jesus or whatever, and there's some stuff that it's hard to wrangle with, and you have to know things about, documents and archaeology and dating and reliable resources. Screw that, we're just going to make up a bunch of shit like zeitgeist, right? Or say, oh, Jesus didn't exist, instead of saying, oh, look, we can separate out this guy, this northern Israelite who is probably Samaritan, who was born naturally, a guy named Mary and Joseph, who was killed, not for being the Messiah, but for being an insurrectionist, right? And who never claimed to be the Messiah or the King of the Jews. And then his body disappeared, and that's the oldest record that we have. And then look, we can see these resurrection accounts come on, and then look, we can see miracles added, which you can blatantly see in the New Testament, starting from Mark, going to Judais's form of Matthew, then a reaction against Matthew, which is Luke, and then a totally different account, which is John. And then you look at the early stuff like Paul versus the later stuff like Peter. And you could tell that the Apocalypse of John is anti-pastoral epistles. These things didn't agree, there were different theologies about this guy that rose up after he died. And it's not cohesive. But it's about refining the question. Theism, or belief in God, love, something extra, right? When people bring science into this, like science can prove God. Our God of Eastern Orthodoxy is like the Tao, right? We've been saying this for at least 1,000 years. We're more closer to Taoism or Zoroastrianism than we are to Roman Catholicism, even though it may look like us in some respects. When people try to talk about the physical world, that's the physical world. We're not the creationists and all that shit. That's never been a part of us, right? Just like we don't need, and we never considered the Old Testament to be a science book or reliable. We were always going with Greek and Roman stuff, and again, many times Zoroastrian things, not just Judaism. Christianity is not a continuation of Judaism. It's ridiculous. It's about refining the question. Again, just like there are many atheists who I would say they have a lot more in common with me than the Christians, right? Than some Western. It's about refining your question. That's why I can understand when somebody says, well, they say they're Orthodox, or they say they're theistic, but I think they're atheistic. For an atheist to say that, but I think they're more than that, or they're atheists, but I think they really believe in God. Because sometimes we are talking about the same thing. Because people say, do you believe in God or not? I look at them like, in this day and age, when there's so many definitions, what the hell are you talking about? Because our definition of God can fit into atheism. At least into atheism, where atheists say, well, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. Or atheists can be spiritual. Or atheists have free will, right? If atheists have free will, then in a materialistic world, then there is, So I think that's it. That's why the idea of, you're a fucking idiot if you believe in religion, or there's no such thing as a real atheist, or atheists are blind or scared. I hate these arguments. Or saying like theistic people and atheists can't be friends, or always have to bitch and bicker. That's a Beelzebub way, and I think it's shit. I intensely disagree with many people on many things. It's like there's many people who belong to very disparate political parties, and I'm friends with them. Right? The sectarianism is the shit, and you can get that in atheism. Look at Atheism Plus. Look at communism. You can get the sectarianism. Right? Like, that's what irritates me when people say, oh, religion does this. No, it's a part of our human nature, because religion rose up from us. It's a piece of being human. And all the things that we call religion, no matter if we think we're getting rid of something, it's going to come back in form. It's a product of humanity. All right. Peace to everybody. Peace to you. I guess I'll send this to Noelplum. So it's not like I'm aiding the enemy. Noelplum isn't the enemy. I'm not helping him out to destroy God or anything. It's about refining the question, making the world a better place instead of sectarianism like Beelzebub or G-Man Or was it Shock of God, that guy, or Nephilim, or Venom Fang X, or Bionic Dance? Those people are shitty. Peace to you.